Resident Evil 4 is the best game of all time. I remember when I first learned about this game, I had subscribed to Nintendo Power. And so I was getting their magazine and I loved reading through it and reading through all the new updates that were happening. This is in 2005, by the way. It's like, if you don't know, it's basically like Nintendo had a magazine subscription thing. And one of those years, they did this top 200 games of all time list. And so the number one game on that list was Ocarina of Time, expected, right? Number two was Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube. And I was like, what the hell is this? Resident Evil 4. I'd never heard of it. Like, how did this thing get placed number two? And so I go and buy it on the GameCube, right? I had to get parental permission because it was an M-rated game. I was probably like 11 at the time. I remember that was the first game ever that had come in 2 discs and not two of those mini discs. The only other game that I'd seen like that was Tales of Symphonia. And I got the game and I started playing through it. I'm playing in the basement after school. It's dark, like the blinds are down. Like I didn't even know about it being a scary game. That's just how I naturally played. And I remember, holy shit, like this game is intense, from the shooting to like the enemies to the environments, and like immediately I was hooked. And so I beat that game. I think it took me like 36 hours, but like I can't remember another game where I just beelined it like that. And so then I start playing it again, and then I play it on professional mode, and I beat it on professional. Then a couple years later, the Wii comes out, so I have the Wii, and then Resident Evil 4 comes out on the Wii. And so I buy it on the Wii. And like I remember the motion controls being revolutionary at the time, because now I could actually point. I like doing like the little side thing, so I could actually point, right? You'd hold the trigger, then you'd press A to shoot. And so you'd point at the enemies, and I'm like, man, I thought I was good at this game, and now I'm even better. Like, boom. And so I did that. So I beat it on normal mode, I beat it on professional. And then fast forward a couple of years later, I go to college. And in college, my roommate had a PS3. And of course, on the PS3, he ends up having Resident Evil 4. And so we would go through these like phases where he would play a bunch of Skyrim, then I would watch him play Skyrim. And then I would hop on his PS3 and I would play Resident Evil 4. And then he would watch me play. And there was actually a girl in our hall who we would all hang out together. And so she would come to our room, hang out with us. And so it turns out that she used to play Resident Evil 4 as well. I think her dad got her into it. So she starts playing, giving us tips and stuff on Resident Evil 4. And she starts coming for Resident Evil 4 Hangouts. So I remember I beat Resident Evil 4 on the PS3. And then when I got my own PS3, then I bought Resident Evil 4 on that. And then flash forward a couple years later, the PS4 comes out, right? And I have my own PS4, and then I've been playing through other games, and then all of a sudden I just started having this itch to play some Resident Evil. And of course I get Resident Evil 4 for the PS4, and then I play it on that. And then of course I hear about this remake that's happening for RE5 or RE4 for the PS5. So super excited. Then Resident Evil 4 comes out, remake on the PS5, and of course, great game ever, right? I had such high expectations for the remake because I was like, man, I love this game. I've beat it at least 6 times. And of course, the remake absolutely delivered. Yeah. The only thing that I don't like is the shooting, right? Before you could just headshot and then melee and you really run this loop. But now with the shooting, you miss a lot of your shots, and the cursor is very wide as to narrow in. The guns don't nearly stagger as much as they used to. And I get it, to make it more intense and scary. I get it. I understand why they did that, and I've grown used to it. But I do think the remake is amazing. It's scarier. The graphics are incredible. The action, the enemy behavior is even more intense. The enemies go woo, and the enemies, they'll jump around and they'll leap and dash and do all this other stuff, right? It's like the tension is heart palpitating. I remember when the Regenerators showed up in the remake, I was really excited to see that, because in the OG, that was the section that scared me most. But when the Regenerators would show up, I'd be like, oh my God, fuck, I gotta go through this Regenerator section again. And now in the remake, they'll freaking jump at. I remember I shot one and it was dead, and I was like, okay, we're good. And then the freaking thing just jumps at me from the ground with its sharp teeth, and I was like, holy shit, what the hell? Yeah. But yeah, so I beat it on normal. And then flash forward 9 months later, I beat it on professional. Then I did the mercenaries mode. And then as of right now, like literally this afternoon, like I've been having a craving to play it. And so I've just started a new playthrough and I'm playing through a professional mode again, except this time I'm doing New Game Plus, which I've never done before. So I'm doing New Game Plus, bringing all my old guns. I got the Red 9 equipped and just blasting through enemies and literally having a great time. That's how we know it's the greatest game ever, is because I've played it now, what, 8, 9 times, and I'm still not bored of it. I still enjoy Resident Evil, especially Resident Evil 4. I've tried the VR. It's not for me. I don't really like it. Like I have a PlayStation VR, so I've tried it. Tried RE7, RE4 on it. Yeah, I'm just not a fan. So I like the normal stuff. But yeah, I think RE4, like it revolutionized the industry from the third person over the shoulder type of stuff, that camera angle, that gameplay, to changing up the how Resident Evil, basically how the whole franchise worked, from like the top down tank controls to now the over the shoulder action, how replayable it is, as I've mentioned over here, right? Yeah, there's just something about it. Right? You don't play Resident Evil games for the plot, right? If that's you're missing the plot if you're playing RE4 or just Resident Evil for the plot. You play it for the action, the survival horror, the inventory management. Like those are the things you play traditional Resident Evil for, and RE4 definitely for the action too. So if you haven't played it, I 100% recommend it. For our cosplay runway show, I actually, the last show that we had, I wasn't able to make it, unfortunately, but I recorded a video, and my cosplay in that video was Leon from RE4. So yeah, it's the greatest game of all time. So yeah, I'm curious whatever your game might be, a game that you really enjoy, what your opinions on Resident Evil 4, right? If you're in the, if you really, my goal with this channel is to pretty much bring nerd culture even more mainstream and help us celebrate it. So that's why I created Cosplay Couture, a runway show. So if you're in the New York, Miami area, you can definitely check that out. It's literally just cosplayers going on a fashion runway. Otherwise, yeah, check out the other videos on this channel, and I'll see you there.